Hello and welcome back to my channel, Dr. Magnesium, with me, Dr. Lee Keegan. And today we're going to do another short video which is going to be on a rather depressing topic, unfortunately, and that is the topic of childhood obesity. This is becoming more prevalent over the last few years. If you look back 30, 40 years, it's a steady incline in prevalence, but the last 10 years there's been a rapid increase in childhood obesity. If you look at the last statistics, which are for around 2020, 2019, 2020, it shows childhood obesity from the end of reception year in the most deprived areas at about 15% to 20%. But if you go up to the end of year 6, which is the old end of infants, if you're of my generation, it goes up to around about 33% to 36% in the most deprived of areas, which is absolutely shocking. It's just, there's no other word for it really. It's a national disgrace really. If you look at the stored up health problems and the burden of disease that this is going to cause, and burden of finance this is going to cause on the NHS and on healthcare systems right across Europe, it's a scandal. This is a topic that should be on the front page of every newspaper. It should be banner headlines right across 24-hour news, but it's not. And if you look at it, it directly correlates to areas of deprivation as well. If you look at the better off areas, the least deprived areas within the UK, I think the statistics are about 5% at the end of reception, up to 11% at the end of year 6. And if you compare that to the most deprived areas in the UK, it rises from 5% to about 15% at the end of reception, and from about 11% to 36% in some areas, which is just unbelievable. And if you look across the consumption of UPF within these demographics as well, I think in the poorest areas in the UK, children are eating up to 85% UPF. 85% of the diet comes from food that technically isn't food, and food that is poisonous, that causes harm, causes cancer, causes metabolic syndrome, obesity, depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, cerebral vascular disease, endocrine diseases, autoimmune diseases. It's as I say, it's an absolute scandal. It's a national disgrace, and it should be highlighted. The fact that people are not even aware of this in these areas where children are this size and that have BMIs this high, people aren't even aware of this. People aren't aware of the damage that UPF causes. And the flip side to that is it's so much easier to eat UPF. It costs cheaper, allegedly, to eat UPF, and it certainly does in some cases, but it doesn't have to be more expensive. It doesn't. This is food that's basically killing our children. This will bring about early deaths of many children within this country over the next 30 to 40 years. This is not about obesity. It's not about aesthetics. It's not about so-called fat kids. This is about obesity in children, sickness, stored up health problems over the next 30 to 40 years, kids being poisoned, school meals containing 85 to 90% UPF in deprived areas and deprived schools. This is a national outrage. People should be angry about this. People should really, if you want to stand up for anything, stand up for your children. If you're not going to stand up for yourself, stand up for your children, stand up for your children's health. These are kids that are projected to die before parents in many cases. This is just outrageous, and people are standing by and letting it happen, and we need to get a grip of this now. This is something that needs addressing. We need to be putting pressure on governments to take UPFs out of at least school meals first, so we know kids are getting a healthy meal at school. We need free food for all children, but especially children from deprived areas, and that free food needs to be healthy food, not absolute rubbish that they're eating now. 85% UPF food. In some kids in schools are getting 100% of the dietary requirement from UPFs. It's as I say, it's an absolute scandal. It's something that really upsets me, and it really gets me angry and fired up, and you can probably tell from this video, but it's just something I'm passionate about, and something that we need to get across. We need to get this message across. We need to get this message out there. We need to get kids eating healthy again. We need to save kids' lives. This will ultimately save children's lives. This is being addressed as the pandemic of the poor, and it is. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be UPF. It doesn't need to be either healthy food and versus electricity, rather than poor quality UPF food in order for people to be able to survive. It doesn't have to be like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to show. I'm not a chef by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a doctor. I've got no formal training in food whatsoever. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to show people. I'm going to get myself a set of ingredients, and I'm going to cook healthy meals, UPF free, for cheap. And I'm going to show you. They're going to be my next videos. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself a set of ingredients, and I'm going to show people how it can be done, because it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be the same price. You can cook for the exact same prices as you can prepare UPF meals. I've done it in the past, and I can prove it, I can show it, and that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be the aim of my next few videos. I'm going to get the ingredients, fresh ingredients, and I'm going to show people that if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not a trained chef. So that's where we're going to go in the next few videos. This is something that needs addressing. It's an absolute scandal. This video should shock people. People should look at this video and should think, we need to do something about this. We need to get this message out there. We need to stop kids eating these poisons. So if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Please share these videos, and let's get the message out there. Let's get kids eating healthy again. Let's get us all eating healthy, but let's start with our children. Let's save our children. If one thing spurs you to action, it should be the health of your children. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye.